Well, mental health has nothing to do with drugs. I want to break it down to the smallest unit, and I'll start with even anxiety, stress, depression, worrying. All of that can push you into a mental health disorder.
Hey, what's up? My name is MC Cuts, aka King of the Mic. I'm here to tell you a story how I got HIV, but at the same time, the story is supposed to help a parent out there watch out for their child, help a fellow young boy out there know how these things happen, or probably to give you a hint and you avoid it, help anybody out there that's affected and infected with HIV to show them life goes on. You still have hope, you still have dreams to chase. I've been chasing my dreams. I think I've had this disease 12, 13 years. Still top of my game. You can use Google and see.
There's things that are free but just start costing unplanned money, like rainwater. It's supposed to be free, but to harvest it, you have to first build a house. Same way HIV treatment is totally free but has been costing. I mean, you have to first move to the health center. Go spend like a whole day, 6-7 hours. Then there's also health center fatigue. But now things have changed. Your HIV treatment can be picked from a pharmacy near you. And if you're lucky and you have a 24-hour pharmacy,
Edition of MC Cuts Foundation YouTube channel, and like we said, we'll be talking about so many things, as many as we can talk, as long as it's gonna help somebody here. Subscribe, share, help somebody. If you feel like this information can go to somebody and you can help them, it's our pleasure and honor. Today we're going to use a little Ugandering because my person here is from...
I'm from Lira. Yes,
and me, my Lugubari is Lugubari. But regardless, we move.
Yes.
Just give us a brief about you.
Well, I'm Dr. Lisa Tumwine, and for close to 10 years now, I've been a pharmacist practicing, and in the spaces that I've been in, mostly community pharmacy and hospital pharmacy.
Just give us a brief about community pharmacy, and for those of us who don't know what you exactly say. When you say community pharmacy, what does it? Give us a picture. What exactly you do?
We basically deal with the pharmacies that are available to the community. Like when you move around your neighborhood and you see some pharmacies, those are the pharmacies I'm talking about.
So you randomly just jump into a pharmacy?
No, you don't randomly jump into a pharmacy, but that's the sector that I am in, community pharmacy.
Okay, since I'm not in that circle, just tell me, like government sends you say to cover it to... Okay.
No. We run pharmacies and we make drugs available to the nearest community.
Yes. Okay. And how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for 8 years now.
That's quite good.
Yes.
So you know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
Eight, you become a professional, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, today we're talking about mental health. I badly wanted to talk about this. Thank you for coming through. Really badly wanted to talk about this. First, mental health. People think, because I was a victim of mental health.
Yeah.
But most people associate mental health with drugs. Let's start from there.
Well, mental health has nothing to do with drugs. Most people,
what's mental health then? Kwanga abantu abasinga za mental health oba ovuddeko yanywa enjaga n'avaako yeekubisa n'avaako. What's mental health, if you to break it down?
I want to break it down to the smallest unit, and I'll start with even anxiety, stress, depression, worrying. All of that can push you into a mental health disorder.
So mental health is a combination of all that.
Exactly.
Depression, anxiety,
yes, when all
stress,
of these things push you
combined,
to an
your
extreme.
head can't take it anymore.
Exactly. But it starts from the smallest that we ignore.
So initially, overdose was statistics mental health in Uganda. Give us some numbers.
Yeah, as of a research conducted in 2022, at this point there are 14 million Ugandans affected.
14 million Ugandans. We 47. That's practically almost half Ugandans are mentally.
Yeah.
What are the signs that you have? Is it being affected or infected, or you have a mental health problem?
Well, like I said, there are so many. There's a broad spectrum of mental health issues. It's not just the one thing. And I mentioned some things like anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts. So depending on what point on the spectrum you are at, the symptoms
Differ.
Yes.
I saw the previous match, somebody who hung themselves because of Arsenal. I was like, no human being in their normal state of mind can kill themselves because of football match. It just took me back to, you already had issues.
Yes.
So let's start with anxiety. Cause of anxiety, and how can I tell my friend is being affected by that?
Anxiety makes someone unsettled. One of the causes of anxiety is that you're always unsettled. You're always thinking a lot of things. If I am to put it in simple terms, you think a lot, you worry a lot, you stress a lot. Every little thing can trigger you. It can be something which on a normal day would not have affected you, but because you have this underlying anxiety, you blow it out of proportion.
What's the line that causes us to that level?
To the level of anxiety, what it is failing to handle your normal daily activities.
Is it too much that your system can't handle, or too much that you're not used to it, or too much because it's piled on you?
I think all of the above. If your system can't handle it because maybe you are different, each and everyone is different. So if your brain can't handle a certain amount of stress, it will lead you into that anxiety. And if the situations around you are piling up, still you will go into that.
Then the stress part
Stress
comes with the bills we face in life.
Yes, these are triggers. Yes, these are things that hit you. So they trigger you to go into that state of anxiety. The normal stresses.
Okay,
like
just give us like the build up. What comes first? What should I be like? Okay, I'm at level 1, then I'm at level 2, then I'm going.
Yes. Well, everyone is different. So what stresses me might not be what stresses you. So I have to understand who I am. So some of the triggers that could trigger me might be maybe the bills or the children.
Love.
Yes, love, relationships. My heart is broken.
How do I know that I'm in this caliber? This stresses me. Because growing up, for us in Uganda, we've not grown up with therapists.
Yeah.
We've not grown up with these things, yoga.
Yeah.
How do I know? Some of us, for instance, my story is I faced life the way it came. Then I knew that I can handle, that I can't handle. This, I have a temper, this I can't handle. I've learned through experience.
Yes.
Now, my point when I was like mentally ill, it was too much. I was having too much.
Yeah.
The music career of somebody, my career, my disease. I was just having all the things boiling up, and I'm trying to figure out a solution.
Yeah.
And I felt like I can't put my hands on a solution, so why don't I just leave this world? Let's go back to my friends around me. Can they detect these things?
Yeah.
Can they detect that
Yes, I think so, because if someone knows you for a long time, they'll know what
those are usually our parents.
Yes.
The rest of the people just meet them.
Yes, they'll know what your normal looks like, and once you begin to get off the normal, they can tell.
And because I'm imagining, say you've left your parents' home, you're going to face a totally different life. You get into marriage, you're both from different livelihoods. You're going to face another different all kind of life. You get a job, you're not used to 7 to 5. That's a whole different job. How do I adopt into this and it doesn't stress me or bring me anxiety?
Yeah, you need to practice self-love. You mentioned it before, and this is something that we take for granted. We love to love other people, but we forget that we are the first people to love ourselves. That means every single day, you need to take time with yourself to reflect and talk to yourself and say, hey, How are you doing? What are the things that are stressing you today? So that you don't carry backlog. Now, what makes you pick over to the other tip is that you have carried yesterday, you carried last month, you carried last year, and it's all on you. But every morning when you wake up, you distress, you talk to yourself, you give yourself the advice, because maybe your parents are not there, maybe the loved ones are not there to speak to you. So you speak to yourself as an adult. This is what we are doing when we do meditation or yoga. You're trying to calm your brain down to the level where you're telling it, if you're scared of bills, don't be afraid, you'll figure it out. Or if it's a relationship, you'll get one back.
If you say 14 million Ugandans, and you're talking about yoga and self-reflect, I'm trying to imagine our Uganda. You slept without eating. Landlord is on your neck. Kids are looking at you. Wife has disappeared or gone, or husband has just not slept home. When are we going to get this time to sit and start reflecting that I love myself?
Yes, I think it's something
the typical African society.
Yes, the typical African society has not taught us to actually take the time to be intentional. It's something you do intentionally. It doesn't come naturally to us because of our cultures. But you're the one to decide and say, when I wake up in the morning, instead of running and jumping onto my phone or getting out to face the day,
that's going to be another topic, the phone issue.
Yes. You tell yourself, let me take just 30 minutes or an hour to reflect before you get out of bed or get distracted with any of the things that are going to stress you. Reflect and talk to yourself and say, hey, you know what? I believe in you. Today is a new day. We are going to tackle it together. You speak affirmations into your life. If you're someone...
Aren't we raised in a way that somebody is supposed to... I think that's why people tend to run to relationships. Or tend to love their parents too much. Because we think somebody is supposed to wake up and tell us that. Some people run to God. Like first thing they do, cry to God. What me psychologically, if I wake up and I've not listened to worship song to calm my brain and reset or eat, my day is messed. Just like you've seen today. I woke up and people are using the TV. What I do, I'll listen to worship. I start like adding up things together. Calm down. The day is gonna be okay. Who has to be settled? Who has called me? I need to call back. But in a normal society, that's the person who has been through mental health. That's like my therapy. But in a normal society, to use limbo, mommy, I joke up much. Wake up and sleep. Today is going to be a good day. Have a breakfast. You're going to be okay.
And so that's what creates that desire to run into relationships. You find like we can't be okay being single. You feel like you need a girlfriend.
You can't face the day.
Yes. You feel like you need a girlfriend to tell you, I love you, you're good.
Exactly.
Yes, but you need to learn to tell yourself that. How? You have to be intentional.
Upbringing that imagine wakulane tata nga kuyisamu MP. Mami teyaliwo yanova. Our upbringing is already disorganized enough to wake up and tell yourself you love yourself. You grow up knowing this world is me against the world 20 cars.
It is not an easy journey working yourself out of such mental health issues. It is something you do intentionally because you know the result is you're going to have a better day when you do it. And if it's so hard to speak to yourself, you try writing down. It's called reflective journaling. You have a notebook and you write down, I am smart, or this is going to be a blessed day, a great day. Yes, it helps. And you speak those words out loud.
You have like things Osanga Wandis and you're like, these are things about you. Why are you writing them?
Yes, it helps.
Like he has written down, this one is my friend, this one needs. When does it fly to drugs? I don't know. Mental health and drugs seem to be moving the same line.
Okay.
What's that point where drugs become your therapy?
I think when you talk about drugs, I'm looking at addiction.
Like typical addiction.
Yes, addiction is anything that you want to run to escape. The word escape is the word I want to highlight there. So this person is running to drugs to escape from the piling pressures that have not been dealt with. And if you're trying to escape, then it's not going to work. And that's why
because you will need to take over every time.
Every time. So that's why I'm saying.
So somebody who is like a drug addict is initially not a drug addict. Is trying to run away from something.
Exactly.
How do we get to that line? Loneliness?
Yes, all the stresses of life, like I say, they pile up. Today, a stressor hits you. Tomorrow, another
What's a
thing.
stressor? Sounds like a person who comes and stresses you.
Yes, a stressor can be not just a person, but an event that occurs, maybe like the death of your parents or an accident.
A sudden...
Yes, something that drives you out of your normal state of calmness. It can be your boss shouting at you at work and it triggers you.
And the problem is, how are we going to avoid these things? These things are
meant to happen.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
There's no way you're going to be a parent and you don't stress with school fees.
Yes.
There's no way you're going to go to work and your boss will be smiling with every day.
True.
There's no way you're going to wake up and your landlord doesn't want their money.
True.
So these are daily things. If we have 14 million people, it looks like we're just going to grow. The number is just going to increase.
It is increasing, and I had earlier stated that Uganda is the country with the most number of mental health issues in all lower and middle income countries. We are ranking highest now.
In the entire world?
Yeah.
What's treatment for mental health?
The treatment for mental health is broad. Like I said, it's a big spectrum.
Let me give you this one.
Okay.
I have a friend of mine, and for the last like 6 or 1 year, she will stop drinking alcohol. Anxiety pills.
Yeah.
I don't want to let them down or discuss it with them. But I'm like, sister, those things are for the Bill Gates. How can you be on anxiety pills?
Yeah.
How do you even treat anxiety?
Yes, well, there are drugs that have been formulated. I want to try to use as simple English as possible. That basically how they work is they go into your brain and produce a chemical called dopamine. Okay, dopamine
just
helps
right
you
there.
to...
Dopamine is also addicted to drugs, more so crack and cocaine. Because every time I go to rehabs, they say when these drugs get your dopamine, then your brain can't do without them. I hear it so much in rehabs.
Yes, well, dopamine, let me call it the calming effect or a calming drug. It stimulates. Exactly.
Been there, seen that.
Yes. So these are the drugs that are formulated.
So dopamine is not in the brain, it's a drug.
It is in the brain, but there are drugs that trigger its release. Yes, or promote its release in a high quantity.
And again, I talked to somebody in the rehabs and said drugs trigger that dopamine more than sex can. Like 10 times better, because it's the excitement you have when you get sex. You're having sex.
Yes.
So they told me the drugs trigger it like 1,000 times better than even sex.
Yes, and that's why people keep going back to it. But I want us to use a different method, and that's why I'm saying the reflective journaling is less, it has less consequences. Like if you go in that direction of drugs, there's so many things that go wrong.
But I've also had their stress tablets.
Yes.
So when I'm stressed, I take tablets.
Yes, there are those, like I said, there are pharmaceutical formulations that have manipulated those things in your brain, the chemicals in your brain, to help it calm down if you're stressed.
Are they legal?
Yes, they are legal, but they must be prescribed.
There's things that are free but just start costing unplanned money, like rainwater. It's supposed to be free, but to harvest it, you have to first build a house. Same way HIV treatment is totally free but has been costing. I mean, you have to first move to the health center. Go spend like a whole day, 6-7 hours. Then there's also health center fatigue. But now things have changed. Your HIV treatment can be picked from a pharmacy near you. And if you're lucky and you have a 24-hour pharmacy,
forgetting the names, they're like 4 different tablets. Like somebody, if he's a drug addict, what they call mash. As tablet, they're like 4 different. Nas kasuka, then they get high.
Wow.
They instantly like poyesa.
Wow.
Are those drugs legal in pharmacies?
They are supposed to be prescribed. So when someone comes, they should present for you a doctor's report that a doctor has recommended.
Exactly.
This.
One day they sent me to buy them, and the person told me I can't give them to you.
Exactly.
There's a pharmacy in Tindaragamba. I can't give them to you, that a doctor.
Yes, true.
So why were they made in the first place? Because now I have people who are addicted to those ones. Like every evening, I take 5 tablets.
Yeah, that's wrong, and that's not the reason why they were made. They were made to help people that are in extreme mental cases, like those really mad people that they can't even settle, those ones that you have to tie. So when you give him that, he relaxes and calms down. So those drugs were made for such cases, not for these ones that we can manage through the systems that we need to be intentional about using.
So let's rewind back, because that's like a whole book we've done. Now let's go back and revise the book. Anxiety. We said anxiety to explain to somebody who's probably anxious, probably not sure what's going to happen next. They are panicking and all that. That's also a symptom I've seen with people who have done drugs, who are doing drugs. They baba muka.
Yes, because that's a side effect of those drugs that calm you. So when they're out of your system, they do the reverse. Yes.
Then they are sharp. They're adding this, adding
the
this.
reverse.
Stress is a bit of an African society side dish. We have it on our menu. It's a job to deal with. You said stress, anxiety, and what?
Depression comes in when
we did talk about depression.
Yes, when you've been stressed for more than 2 weeks going to a month constantly, you're going on to depression.
So first is anxiety.
Yes.
It goes to stress.
Stress is a trigger, like I said. I can stress you, that is a trigger. Yes, and then anxiety is a totally different thing. It's how you react.
Let's start with anxiety. How does somebody avoid being anxious?
How you avoid being anxious is those things that you do. Like I said, when you wake up in the morning, you tell yourself that no matter what comes my way today, I'm going to remain calm. Everything is going to be okay. You speak to yourself. So
my other friend gets anxiety when he's around many people, but he works in bars. So what solution should you give to a person like that? Like when people are many, they take the same drugs again. They have like a clique of 4 people who, I don't know which doctor told them that. So if my job comes with being anxious.
So this friend
or my family, things you can't do without, things you're facing every day.
Then maybe there's an underlying trigger. For example, your friend who is anxious about being around people. I don't think the people are the problem. Maybe something happened in the past that made him feel like, okay, if I'm around people, it's going to be. So what we do, we go for that therapy session, counseling, and then you go back to the past.
That is where I'm
and heal that.
The therapy, counseling.
Yes.
Do you know how expensive rehabs are? From experience. I've paid rehabs of 3.2, 3.5, 2.5. Now when you tell an African Ugandan you're going for therapy, it's like you're telling them you're eating in Sheraton and Serena today in one day.
Well, I understand.
How are we going to afford these therapies?
I understand how expensive it has been on the scene, and that's why I'm here. I feel like I want to make this available to everybody.
As you or you have a team of people?
Yes, I have a team of people and counselors that are professional that can help you walk through this season, and I want it to be as affordable as possible.
Because I forgot to tell you simple. I have like 6 women, because only that they're not willing to come out yet. The first one is husband divorces, takes everything. Second one, husband dies, family bamboos everything. Third one, young, I have like messages on my phone. And I've ever read a message and you're like, I don't know what to do for you, but I would want to do. Because now I won't bring back your husband, I want to bring back the property. The best thing I tell you is pray.
Of course. But that's where the counseling team now comes in, and then we walk this journey with you, not for one day.
Can words heal somebody?
It's not the words that heal, but if you take the advice that I'm giving you and you act upon it, then you can find healing.
I'm crossed legs, give me some advice. So, things are not going good. I'm in your office now.
Okay. So, well, every case is different, like I said. It could be...
Let's talk bills, because
Okay.
people in Kampala right now are too broke.
Too broke.
And life is lifing, things are expensive.
Yeah.
Songs biganye, rent hakuna, fees hakuna,
Yeah.
chakula, what to eat, nothing.
Yeah.
Feed my head.
Okay, well, I think still every situation is different. It could be that maybe you've just lost a job, or maybe you don't want to get a job, or maybe things are just
Life
tough
is
at the
lifing.
business.
What
Life
I'm
is
getting
lifing.
is not matching what I need.
Okay. Yeah, well, I would, of course, encourage you, but then we should set strategies for how are we going to get out of this mess. Because we love to throw a pity party, and that's the challenge I've found with people that are depressed or anxious. They say, oh, I have this
Battles
problem,
are
and they
so
stay
sad.
there. Yes, they want to stay in that situation, and that's not the kind of counseling or therapy that I will give you. I'll give you strategies of how can we get out of the situation. Okay, these are financial issues you're facing. What goals can we draw up? What strategies? Can we do a business? Can we call a few friends? You know, we can sit
Can we
together.
reduce on your expenditure?
Exactly. We sit together and form a plan that is actually going to make a difference in your life, depending on who you are.
Then we have my children kind of age, 16, 15, 18, 12.
Yeah.
This thing called a phone is messing them up.
Yeah.
When they see Sheila Gashumba with a new weave,
Yeah.
a weave that could cost $500,000, they want it.
Yeah.
When they can't get it, they feel like, oh, me, I'm failed in life.
Yes.
Because if you say already 14 million people, me, I'm seeing an age, because I see it with musicians.
Yeah.
Musicians have a tendency of, this guy lives in a 2 million apartment. The next day they're in the same 2 million apartment. They don't know how the other one is surviving.
Yes.
And they lie to themselves. Nobody tells the other how they're making the money. Most of them are not making it off stage and music.
Yeah.
They have other things they're doing.
Yeah.
Now I'm seeing it with this generation. When my daughter was going for prom,
Yeah.
they had even particular designers.
Wow.
But the designers I know that are expensive.
Okay.
But me, I'm grown up, I know them, I meet them in the industry.
Right.
But I was like, now these kids are looking at this. If you can't give it to them, what I'm going to do for this generation, that all of them have phones. Every day they are saying something new. There's a new TikTok challenge, there's a new dress, there's a new makeup, there's a new car, there's a new dance. I feel like they have a lot already for their age. They have too much for their age.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
leave me alone for a minute.
Yes.
Now, if this kid is growing with this phone,
Yeah.
plus science and biology in their head, plus parent has slapped me, plus teacher doesn't like me,
Yeah.
where are we going?
It's really a terrible place that we are going to, and especially because the phone is here to stay. Actually, now we are in the age of artificial intelligence, so
it's
things are
getting
even going
worse.
to get worse. Yes, so that's why I'm saying we need to come up with strategies that help us to manage day by day. We might not be able to tackle a full year at once, but if we can manage this today and maybe set up discipline, guidelines, boundaries with our children. So if it's a teenager, it will again depend. Different teenagers maybe will have to have sessions with their parents.
Is that good? Because again, as statistics were showing, parents have given their kids more to the schools than to them.
Yeah.
Because he has to wake up at 5,
Yes.
comes back at 8 to work, just hi, how are you, dinner, sleep. So most of the time it's either the friends
Yes.
or the school. And again, somebody was telling me, because of this emptiness you feel in home, that's how these kids are learning drugs.
True.
Because the friends that I feel have to be my friends are doing it, so I jump into it.
Yeah.
That's just a mess of its own.
It's a mess of its own, and I think if we can create communities where these youth can come together and feel alive. For example, if we are all 18 and we come into this group of, maybe it's just a group for people who love fashion, and then we find some activity that we're doing, but as an organized group,
and
maybe
right now you're going to find them in holidays that would case, where they are easily exposed to the drugs and the alcohol because of the other teams. Way back when I was growing up, we used to do in my stories, we used to do Little Flowers. It was like Little Flowers and KPC at Beaton. Then Friday we could go for Beaton KPC. Saturday could be Little Flowers. Sunday there was also like a youth choir gathering at Miracle Center, Ruwaga Miracle Center. Right now, I don't know if things like Riot HRU.
Sharing horns,
there was sharing horns Zambia. Right now, all I see is some Nigerian artist has come.
Yeah.
So it leaves a big gap of people who are not interested in that kind of life, but it's the only place I'm going to meet my friends.
True.
So I'll end up going.
Yeah.
I was at the video show and it was these kids. That ticket was 250, but it was kids in there. Who's responsible for bringing back those circles? You see, like mama never get a kabakole sakate, but that one also happens once a year. We don't have those circles.
No.
Mboba abamanyo kutunga tukula wano buli regular netunga. Abagala akapiira, we have like soccer academies.
Yes.
Is that government or is us parents to equate them to government?
Yes, I think we can do something, and that's why we are speaking on this issue, so that we can bring it on table and we find a way forward together as a team.
Did you search of the 14 million people, which age bracket is higher or lower mentally?
The higher are the youth. The youth. Yeah. It's so sad.
So, usually we explain problems and end up with the solutions. One, loving yourself.
Yes.
Now, a person who didn't grow up being loved, it's hard to love themselves.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That's one thing I've learned with all people I've met.
True.
Like now, when I talk about buzzer things, when you sit down with them, it's from the background.
Yeah.
How do we overcome our past to face, okay, daddy didn't love me, mommy left me, or mommy died, but now I just sing and have a bit of Katonda. How do we jump out of that box?
Yes, of course, as you said, it's very important, God first, but still we can work together with a team of counselors, as I've said, and they give you strategies and steps to get out of it. These are points that you have to take into action. Like if I tell you when you wake up in the morning, do this. Write some things about how you
give me
love
like
yourself.
5 basics to start with. Love yourself.
Yes.
That one I find it hard because me too, I fought with loving myself.
Yes, of course.
I love people more than I love myself.
Very
I think
big
I've started
problem.
loving myself when I'm like 30 and above.
Yeah.
But I grew up trying to please Tom, Dick, Harry because I'd lost on the left my dad's home, a man who loved me so much. So when I lost it, I wanted to give what I'd grown up having to people so that they feel it. And when I lost it, I went to the ghettos where they were unloved.
Yes.
So me, I'd sing love. I felt like I have to just pour it out.
Yeah.
How does somebody love themselves? It sounds simple as that, but me, the time I was on mental strength, Jeff Chiwa called me, Douglas was talking to me, love yourself. It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense at all.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to talk about a few. There are so many, but I'll just give a few because of time. One of the things is prioritizing your health. That means every single day you should do some exercise. Exercise is not just for losing weight, contrary to what we think, but
or
it gets
getting the muscles.
No, it's
body.
not about muscles, but it gets your blood pumping. It gets those hormones and the right chemicals mixed in the right way, such that your mood actually
I don't have to run to the gym, just I can run up here and down, skip a rope.
It changes your mood. Just going for a walk, you don't have to even run or do something so physical, but just going
I must
for
have
a
said it
walk.
yesterday that the gym helps on mental
It does.
health.
No, but it's true. It's true.
Serious, that you're getting to vehicle.
It is scientific that once your muscles, it's about when your muscles get...
So me, my gym is dancing. I'm always out. Yo.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It does. It helps.
Okay.
It helps. So that's one of the strategies. You know,
Something
and
else?
prioritizing your diet. Diet is so important. When you eat a lot of carbs, you know, when you get money, you think chips and chicken are the way to go. But these
How is
things,
my eating connected to my brain?
these foods are chemicals. So once you eat these foods, they go and trigger certain imbalances in your brain. Yeah. But the body is supposed to ask nutritionists. They'll tell you that there is a portion of food that you need to eat, and that includes vitamins, carbohydrates, proteins, but in a well-balanced proportion.
So what I eat affects my brain. That's
does.
the new one.
It does. It very much affects your brain. And so
Number
when
3.
you eat more healthy, you're in a better mood.
Number 3.
Number 3, I talked about reflective journaling. Writing down those feelings, because maybe you might not have someone to share them with, but when you write them down,
You feel like when you write them, when you let them out, it helps you face them.
Exactly, yes. You face them.
I've seen that, but I have like 3-4 friends who do that.
Yeah.
He can even come and write about his whole day.
Yes.
I'm like, are you writing a novel about yourself? He's like, no.
Yeah.
When I go back, I know where to improve, where to get better.
It does.
I'm like, okay, if it works for you.
It works. It works.
So basic, without coming to see you, exercise, what I'm eating.
Yes.
Write down my day.
Yes.
Keep that somewhere. Go back and read it.
Yes, and also speak into your day. There are 2 things you're going to write. You're going to write 10 things that you're grateful for every morning. I'm grateful for, it keeps you in a positive attitude, not on the negative side. Yes, keeps you on this positive side. I'm grateful for my family. There are so many things God has blessed us with. Contrary to the rent, yeah, we are on this side thinking about the rent.
Yeah, but we tend to forget the good day.
Exactly.
The free oxygen.
Exactly.
You can eat food.
Yes. So when you wake up in the morning, write down 10 things that you're grateful for. As you pray, after praying, you write down those 10 things. Then you also write down 10 things you want to speak into yourself. The thing that you want the boyfriend to tell you, tell it to yourself. Write down 10 of them.
So that I don't go look
beautiful.
for it.
Exactly. Tell it to yourself. You don't need to wait
I'm
for someone
cool,
to be.
I'm beautiful, I'm loved, I'm favored, I'm blessed.
Yes. Yes. And then you pray
When you
over
say it, it feels, it works.
It does.
I see
it does. It does. When you pray over it, God's power comes over it and it becomes a life-changing thing. And if you can commit to doing it every single day, just these few things, you will see a difference.
Let's go to mental health and people with HIV. Why is it located? In most cases, it's the drugs that most people even up to die meet them. ARVs make you mentally ill. Why do people think that, or how true is that?
I don't think it's true according to the studies that are there. There's no correlation, but
it's just
it's the stress, the trauma, the coming back into the society and fitting in. It's all these factors that can push you to that level.
Okay, say you have a counseling. I need to let her go. She's working and I just have to run to work.
Yeah.
How do people get to you? Because I don't want them to call me, because I may not have the solution.
Yeah.
How do they get to this team? And thank you for what you're doing for starters.
You're welcome.
I don't think you over 1,000, so 14 million. I don't know how much you can save, but how do they get you?
Well,
where are you located? Where is this group located?
Yeah, we are currently located in Gayaza. You can reach my website on lisatumwine.zantu.com. And also my number is 0784-653-453 in case you need to get to me.
So, give them the number, website, but the number is simple.
Yes, 0784-653-453. Send me a WhatsApp and then we can talk.
I know the people out there, you've just broken up with somebody, you lost your job, the loan is bothering you, divorced, somebody died. All this piles up in your head and you feel like you're alone, you feel like you're the end of the world. But suicide has never been a solution.
Yeah.
Neither are drugs. Drugs is just a moment, and the problem, you want to keep that moment going. So in mass, you just keep doing the same thing and there's nothing being solved. So thank you so much, Musawo.
You're welcome. Thank you for
that
having
number
me.
Again?
0784-653-453.
The website?
lisatumwine.zantu.com.
Share, subscribe, show it to somebody who you feel they're going through. And I think even speaking out. Yeah. You know, we tend to die with our problems. You feel like I'm hard, man, I'll handle.
Yes, that's another point that can help you overcome.
I've just remembered I was going through my own. We are tired and they come out.
Yes, you need to socialize, because once you're mentally disturbed, you have the reflex to self-isolate. And
not you feel like nobody will understand you.
Exactly, but there are people who will understand. I'm here.
Then in this day and era, you don't trust people. Like I understand.
Well, but for us, we sign confidentiality, and that's one of the pillars of.
Now, I'm meaning like somebody who may be like abroad and they can't reach you.
Right.
In normal society, who's the first person I have to talk to? I'm like, man, things are. I'm lucky later on I had the Douglases, I had the Mercy, I had my mother. But at first, Nasokanga is killing me alone. Yeah. Usually, who would you first talk to? Who do you trust?
Well, it depends on you.
Imagine there are no parents.
Person. Yeah, maybe it could be a close friend.
Friends are not trusted.
It depends.
Friends,
it depends on the people. But if you have no one to trust, then you can seek counseling. Yes, you can seek counseling.
How many counselors are you saying?
And we are a team of 5 counselors at the moment.
For 14 million. Okay, for your counselors out there and you can help, please join her. Call and we just
call me.
We can do like a club, like the way you see Rotary Club. We do like a Rotary Club and probably say, you know what, the way like the way you say Fanero on Thursday, we can say Thursday before Fanero, we sit there and talk.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be really Fanero, but I'm just giving because it's like one that gathers big numbers every week.
Okay.
The way we do sales, remember the church sales?
Yeah.
We can say today in Chanja we have a home where we just come and sit and talk problems. And I've seen this in movies. When people like are healing.
Yes.
You have those things, what are they called? Society, they see it and you tell your problem, you tell your problem, then you share, and in movies it works.
It does work.
Because you know me, I don't have anything. Then do you know you have nothing, but me I need.
Yeah.
So because we're going to need to help ourselves. 14
together.
million is a huge number. It's abnormal.
Yeah.
14. How many people on internet?
13.
13 million. People are mentally ill are more than people on the internet in Uganda. Thank you so much. Subscribe, share. We love you. See you soon.
See you.
There's things that are free but just start costing unplanned money. Like rainwater. It's supposed to be free, but to harvest it, you have to first build a house. Same way HIV treatment is totally free but has been costing. I mean, you have to first move to the health center. Go spend like a whole day, 6-7 hours. Then there's also health center fatigue. But now things have changed. Your HIV treatment can be picked from a pharmacy near you. And if you're lucky and you have a 24-hour pharmacy,
Hey, what's up? My name is MC Cuts, aka King of the Mic. I'm here to tell you a story how I got HIV, but at the same time, the story is supposed to help a parent out there watch out for their child, help a fellow young boy out there know how these things happen, or probably to give you a hint and you avoid it, help anybody out there that's affected and infected with HIV to show them life goes on. You still have hope, you still have dreams to chase. I've been chasing my dreams. I think I've had this disease 12, 13 years. Still top of my game, you can use Google and see.